Ryan Falkenrath here, Set the Base Triathlon. We're bringing you another exciting product review, and what we're going to talk about today is the ASICS Gel Quantum 180 shoes. So I broke these bad boys out a while ago, and I've been using them in the pain cave. I've been doing quite a bit of training down there, especially this day and age of COVID-19, global pandemic, all that good fun stuff. Kids are home, I'm working from home. Work from home anyway to begin with, but spending a lot of time at home and got a 4, 9, and 12-year-old, so I can't go out running and just leave them at home alone. In the morning, my wife works at a hospital, so she's got to go to work, so I can't necessarily run and leave the house. So doing tons of work on the treadmill in the pain cave. Fortunate enough to have one of those, so I spent a lot of time running with these shoes in there. And what we're going to do is I'm going to search up right now, looking up my gear on ASICS, on my Gel Quantum 180 shoes. Just to let you know that I've spent about 315 miles on these bad boys. So I've put some time and effort into these shoes and definitely have a few thoughts on them going forward. Question number one is, why did I get them to begin with? They were on sale. They're very affordable. I think it was like $56. Can't remember if I think it was ASICS.com directly. They had a sale going on, and like I got an email discount code. So I figured, why not? Why not take a chance? I've ran in the ASICS Gel 360s. They did fairly well for me, so I thought this would be a good transition shoe to kind of try out. And for appearance-wise, they actually, they look pretty cool. I mean, they're pretty snazzy. They got some nice texture to them, some nice colors and different graphics and everything. And I mean, structurally, they're pretty sound, pretty good. I mean, that's one thing we'll start getting into, is they are a very stiff shoe. I mean, in order to bend this, they don't bend the other way at all. So that's with 300 miles, but 100% of those are on the treadmill indoors. So with that, you'll see there are very little wear on the shoes. That's fairly noticeable. I mean, you can look on the inside, and that's a key indicator too of, if you could see those well, is the wear that you're putting on your shoes. If you get in there and the emblems or the decals or anything are kind of worn off. The one interesting thing is, you look at your foot pattern. You can definitely tell your foot pattern over time running on these types of shoes. You can tell if maybe the shoe is too small, if anything's going on with that. So this pad is actually pretty thin at this point in time. So, maybe that's something that, to get a bit more life out of these shoes, if you wanted to, you could change out the sole on the inside, the padding, and you could be able to run some more miles in them. Personally, after 300 miles, I felt like they were broken pretty well. They didn't really cause me any foot pain or anything. Still, they're a little bit heavier than usual, that I'm kind of used to. I'm more of the GT 1000, 2000s version. I think they're up to version 7 or something like that. So they're a little bit heavier than that. So when you're running them, it feels just a minor bit clunky. So I definitely beware of that. They are a little bit heavier than your I guess your typical longer distance running shoes that you're looking for. But the other problem is, and I'll put you just real quickly, picture my toes. If you look at that big toe right next to it, the next index, pointer toe, whatever you want to call it, it took a beating for whatever reason. That was the only toe, and before that I'd really not had issues with blisters in my shoes or anything. For whatever reason, it did not get along well with these shoes. I don't know if there's, you can kind of see there's a little bit of a spot, and you can't really see it on the other shoes, so maybe there's just something going on. Maybe, I'm pretty sure I got all the wrapping and everything out of there, but it seems to be like a seam or something, and maybe that just kind of rubbed on the toe over time. So I don't know if that's, something that, there's one in here too, so it's kind of a seam in the padding where everything comes together. But my left foot, I didn't have any problems. My feet are one size difference, so usually I'll have one problem with one foot and not the other, depending on the size of the shoe. And looking up now, the distance, I want to get the total distance, how many times I've used it and how long I've used it. So we are at the Quantum 180s. First time running on them was January 16th of 2020. And the last time I ran on them was, should be yesterday. That would be April 4th. So you got January, February, March, basically. 3 solid months, and over that time, put 364 miles on them in that time. So, that's some distance, and that's, I think, a good test of these shoes. And like I said, I mean, aesthetics-wise, you can't really tell that I put on, 360 miles on these pairs of shoes. Feeling-wise, I can feel the cushioning is a little bit more broke down. They're not as nearly as stiff as they originally were, but man, these shoes are still stiff. These are very rigid. I call them stability almost. Just the way that they there's not too much give in them. The soles, they're thick and rigid. And, that's not a bad thing. Like I said, I've 360 miles. I've not had any pain. I've not had any foot problems. I've done, 20-mile runs on the treadmill. I've broken it up into 10 and 10. I've done 50-mile weeks in these shoes, and, I'm on the other end, and it's not really a problem. So the major problem was, I guess, the fit for that one toe. For whatever reason, it just wasn't fitting well. But at this time, I'm probably going to retire them. Just because I don't like to play with fire. Usually I get about that 300-mile mark. My shoes, the support and the integrity on the inside and the soles just kind of starts going away. But they're definitely, I mean, I can still wear these like every day. They're still comfortable. They're still not bad at all. They give you great support. Usually by this point in time, I can definitely tell the shoes are getting on the end of their life. I can feel some heel pain and maybe a little bit of plantar fasciitis, and that's my indicator. Shoes well past their prime, but I'm looking at my screen now. I track them with my Garmin Connect, and I track them on my activities. So I've got another pair of shoes that are my outdoor running shoes, and they're 318 miles, so they're about ready to see their maker. But so, giving you a review on these overall, I think the Quantum 180s, they're solid. They're a good choice, especially if you're looking for affordable options. They're kind of on the lower range of things. If you don't like stability and the rigidness of some soles, I'd beware. It might be good like on the crushed gravel roads and that type of thing. You won't feel the gravel as much through these bad boys because they are just, I mean, this is rigid. Like I said, overall, I think they're quality shoes. I think it was a good pickup. They got me through the winter months on the treadmill. Like I said, I don't think past this, I would keep using them. They still kind of bother my toes every once in a while. For whatever reason, they give me a blister on that big toe. And I'm still trying to kind of recover from that and get that to heal up a little bit. It's not currently causing problems, but like I said, these bad boys have done their job. It's time to rotate them out and get them on new ones. But overall, I'd give them a recommendation if you're looking for a good quality, low budget shoe. If you're wanting the long-term shoe, a lighter shoe that you can do your races with and everything, this may not be the best bet for you. But if you're looking for a workhorse to do your treadmill runs, your outdoor runs, and you're just looking to beat them up and use them until you run them in the ground and you want as much mileage as you can get out of them, I think they're a quality pickup. So I would definitely recommend them for that. So, but like I said, for a race, if you want something that's more reactive and lighter, it may not be the best bet. So maybe you use these for a training shoe and then you have your race day shoe. But overall, that's the review of the ASICS Gel Quantum 180 shoes. Like I said, I've had them for 3 months, 360 miles. I give them a thumbs up for what I need them for. They're just the workhorse of a shoe, indoor training on the treadmill, and they work well for me. If you got any questions or any concerns or comments, or you want to know anything else about the shoes, let me know, and I will be happy to get back to you, and we will talk to you next time. Happy training.